It's finally done. I'm not joking. One of Dfinity's flagship products, which is Caffeine AI, guess what happened? Caffeine just recently announced that they're now on the Amazon Web Services marketplace. Again, I am not joking. Take a look at the post right there. It's literally on the screen. Wow. you know, that really makes me want to take a shower, even though I already have, but just kind of the magnitude of something like this. I think it's pretty impressive when I consider just how impressive, again, something like this is. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, and I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but again, they're at computers at around $2, keep in mind. So it's not doing good. But then at the same time, we have to consider just how impressive this is. Why is this maybe a big victory, I think, when it comes to one of their flagship products? Well, it's because if we take a look at it, being listed on the Amazon Web Services marketplace allegedly means that now companies, for instance, can easily discover, acquire, and deploy caffeine directly through Amazon's enterprise cloud ecosystem. So that's a major victory, right? Not to mention, I think it's a big win in terms of credibility, in my opinion. I just think about it that way. And the reason why is because this does increase the distribution of something like Caffeine AI, which is a major victory because, of course, if someone launches a product, they want it to be easily accessible. And if we think about it, many large organizations out there allegedly are required to acquire software only through approved marketplaces, like, for instance, hypothetically in the case of Amazon Web Services. So we have to consider that. When it comes to this achievement, when it comes to Caffeine AI, and by extension Dfinity, and also I think by extension too the internet computer, it's pretty impressive because now, if let's say someone wants to, build on the internet computer, they don't need to learn Python, C++, TypeScript, and all this. There's something like Caffeine AI, again, a self-running apps platform. So literally, instead of me learning Python, C++, and all this, I can just, go to Caffeine AI, type up, and be like, oh, make me a app or something like that that tracks my shopping list and then organizes it in a certain way that makes it more efficient for me when I want to purchase next time or whatever, right? I'm just making a random example. But then Caffeine AI could try to do that for me. We've even seen people make video games when it comes to Caffeine AI. Now, it's not the best video game out there, of course. Like, it's not really that fantastic in my opinion, but at the same time, from the examples that I've seen so far, it kind of showcases what in theory could be hypothetically possible through Caffeine AI. But now that, right, in the case of Caffeine AI being available on the Amazon Web Services marketplace, I think it's a big thumbs up for me, at least in terms of just how impressive I think that achievement is. Now, it's easy to diminish this because the internet computer isn't doing the best, but it's a major victory in my opinion. People sometimes don't really consider this, but I think this is pretty special. I get it. People like to tell me that, oh, okay, maybe it's on the marketplace, but no one's going to use it. Well, there's already a lot of users for it anyways. This is just like the extra cherry on top, if that kind of makes sense, where it's even giving it more and better exposure. Now, Caffeine AI already had okay adoption. I mean, it wasn't the best just because of the timing of the launch. It didn't align well with the altcoin space. So yeah, it's totally understandable. But it's not like it was doing so bad. It wasn't like that. It was doing decently enough to the point that, I guess Dfinity saw quite a good amount of popularity when it comes to it that they even bothered to do a version 3. So if anything, it's pretty impressive and the adoption was already okay, but this one is just bringing it to a whole different level, in my opinion. It's like, for instance, let's say I launch a movie, right? Let's say I'm a director, which I'm not, but I'm just saying. If I did do that, let's say I only, launched the movie in a couple cities or in a couple states. Maybe if I do that and let's say there's good reception for the movie, let's say the reviews are pretty good, it's pretty good enough, in some cases, right? But if I launch it in more places, like let's just say making it nationwide or something like that, or even globally, it's just going to bring better exposure. This is, I think, the case of Caffeine AI now being live on Amazon Web Services in terms of the marketplace. That right there is a major victory, in my opinion, when it comes to the case of Dfinity, and by extension, I think they're on a computer. This is pretty impressive stuff right here. So when people were making fun of Dfinity for spending allegedly $500 million approximately on research and development, people were saying, wow, that's such a waste and all this. $500 million? Like, what did they even do with it? Now, again, we're kind of seeing the results of it, right? Like in the case of Caffeine AI, Cloud Engines, OEC version 2, and who knows whatever else they're trying to make. You know, they're trying to launch a DEX called Multi-DEX. And whatever else they're trying to do, you know, they probably spend it on that, right? And also we saw events like, you know, the World Computer Day event, which happened in Switzerland, and the most recent one happened in the beginning of this year, basically. So again, you know, there's things going on, and it's not like they spent all of that, like, you know, around $500 million on research and development for nothing. It wasn't the case. They actually spent it on actual products, in my opinion, right? On actual development and research, which allegedly is what they said. They said they spent around $500 million on research and development. So it's pretty impressive what I'm seeing when it comes to this. However, again, people like to divert all of this and say, wow, their computer is only at around $2 though. But again, we have to consider, this is going far beyond the price charts. It's going far beyond the price movements, just because this is stuff right here that could impact, you know, Caffeine AI, and also in the case of Dfinity and their computer for many years to come, in my opinion, because the longer Caffeine AI is on the Amazon Web Services marketplace, the more and more people see it, the more enterprises see it, the more that individuals understand what it's all about, the better it is. And it's kind of like this snowball effect, right? Where it may not matter as of right now, but eventually moving forward as years goes by, right? As Caffeine AI becomes more and more popular, if that does happen, by extension, it's just going to kind of bring their computer and Dfinity just along with the ride. So I'm not, you know, I guess disappointed with this. I'm not at all. I think this is actually a pretty impressive thing. And keep in mind, the fact that the internet computer is only around 20 cents higher than its all-time low, I'm not joking. It actually literally is the case. It's $2.18 currently. Its all-time low is $1.98. You know, so we're literally just 20 cents higher than that. So we're not talking about a project here that is far off from its all-time low. That's not the case. It's pretty close to it, which may sound kind of counterintuitive, like, why is that a good thing? Now, I'm not here to say it's a good or bad thing, but personally for me, one thing I do know, though, for sure, right, is that the internet computer is very close to its historical floor. Because if we assume $1.98 is its historical floor, which it is its all-time low, if we assume that, then I would say in theory, yes, it is pretty close to its floor. So when people like to ask me, is it closer to a ceiling or a floor? Now, just based off the price charts, right, just based off what I've seen historically, it seems like it's very close to its floor. That's just the way to take a look at it. What is its ceiling? Now, in 2024, we saw the ceiling was around almost $19. However, if we don't consider the ceiling, like let's just say we take a look at the internet computer back in November of last year, so it's not even a year ago, but at that time, the internet computer was at around $9, so we're over 4 times lower than that. So the thing is, the internet computer is down by quite a lot, but then at the same time, it seems like there's still things going on when it comes to it. Case in point, Caffeine AI now being live on the Amazon Web Services marketplace. It's a pretty major victory, in my opinion. And I get it, you know, low prices may sound really bad, and it's going to be dependent on a case-by-case basis and depending on the perspective in which I want to take a look at it as. But personally for me, you know, I don't mind the hypothetical dip. Just like I like the dip when it comes to my chicken tenders, I kind of don't mind the dip here anyways, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But when I take a look at something like this, it's pretty legendary, I think, seeing one of Dfinity's flagship products be recognized on that massive of a scale. Again, Caffeine AI basically now being live on Amazon Web Services in terms of the marketplace. Wow, pretty impressive. I just think it was pretty legendary, so I felt like talking about it. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very amazing day.